Hi and welcome to this speed build of the AP470. Apologies for the delay. I'd meant to have done this some time ago after I unboxed it. So I'm going to narrate the entire video just so you can see how to do things and how I've done it. Here I've put some excess cardboard from the original packaging, so it helps when you put bits of wood down just in case it gets marked. Also it's good for kneeling on as well, but specifically the reason I've done this is so I can actually move the piano into the place it's going to be. So I'm just unravelling some of the protective plastic around there, and what you can see me doing now is just making and tying up the cable from the pedals. That cable needs to go underneath the pedal board. It's just to keep it out of the way, so I'm currently doing that at the moment. There we go. So the next step is to put the sides on, and you can see here I'm going to put the right hand side on. 2 screws for that. Take your time when doing this, just make sure it's completely lined up properly. I took about 4 hours building this, to be honest with you. I didn't rush it at all. I really quite enjoyed it, in fact. So yeah. Now you'll notice some of my clips on here will be speeded up. This is just to save time. Of course, you don't want to watch 4 hours of video. Here we go. So I've just speeded this up by just doing that. I've done it by hand and then I tighten it by a screwdriver. That's the best way to do it, just to get it completely set. That's it. And then just don't over tighten it, just tighten it enough so you make sure it's firm. And this is for the left hand side of the piano. Okay. Now I'm measuring or remeasuring it to make sure that the area it's going to go in is correct, the width. I did before, but it's worth rechecking just to make sure. I had a table with my lamp on, as you can see there. This is putting the plastic protective caps on it. Before you do that, just give it one more turn with a screwdriver to make sure it's good and tight. This is important. Keep that there, and I'll show you what that is for in a moment. So I'm going to be unravelling the backboard here. Now you've got to put it on the right way. Now to identify, you've got holes at the bottom as I've just indicated there, and you line up those holes with certain holes at the back of the pedal board. Just bear that in mind. So these are some screws for the top to keep it in place, and here I'm just lining it up to make sure it's correct. So I'm just adding that in now, just one screw, and it actually sits on the top of the pedal board at the back. So there you go. There you can see I've got that hole again. That's important because this little screw and bendy metal thing is there for when the piano cable from the piano itself comes down the back of the piano, and that kind of bends round to keep it in place. So I'm just moving it out now. So it's easier to slide on cardboard than it is on carpet, so always use a bit of cardboard. Here are the screws, and I'm going to be putting them in at the base of the piano now, just to make sure everything's in place. What I used here was a small torch as well, because sometimes it's a little bit difficult in certain light to actually make sure you're in the right hole. And I've done it the other side as well. Here you can see I've put in the screws again. I did this by screwdriver to make sure they were tightened up. This area here I'm just cleaning up because hopefully I'll never move the piano again. And there you can see I'm just making sure everything's clear before it eventually goes back. Now I've got the piano part here, which is quite heavy. I'd get 2 people to help you, is my advice, on a small blanket, a little fleece blanket. And there you go, I've put it on top of the piano. So and now I'm just moving it back. Move it back literally inch by inch just to make sure it goes back as where it can, and then just slowly lift the piano up and move it out. So here I'm taking the tape off and unravelling the music board, which will go on at the moment. Always good to put sheet music on, which is purposes, but for tablets as well. There's a little bar in front of that which allows you to put kind of tablets on it just so they don't fall off. So here you can see I've just put that on. At the back there's a speaker area, so you lift it up and additional speakers within the piano pump out some great sound. And here I'm just taking off the last of the protective tape, and there's a big long piece along the keys that's used for transit to make sure it doesn't get broken. And here I'm just turning it on. So look guys, sorry for the delay on making this video. Thanks again for watching it. Leave any comments below and please subscribe. Thank you. Bye bye.